Okay, we have established that we have this board of directors, this team of frequencies inside us. But LeoBunny explores another scenario that takes this to the next level.
Oh, yes, the mass resignation.
Yeah. What happens if the original board of directors completely resigns? What if the whole team just walks out?
This brings us to the phenomenon of walk-ins, which really represents the most profound application of her theory.
According to LeoBunny, this mass resignation typically happens during moments of extreme physical crisis. We are talking about someone suffering a dangerously high fever or going into sudden cardiac arrest.
Moments where the body is pushed to the absolute brink of death.
Right. And in these critical moments, the original soul, or the original team, determines the environment is no longer viable, and they leave the physical vessel.
But the biological system does not die.
Right.
Instead, a replacement soul, a walk-in, steps in to take over the controls. The hardware of the body is preserved, but the operating system is entirely replaced.
And the evidence she provides for this is fascinating. She notes that people who experience this often wake up from their medical emergency with absolutely no memory of their past life.
None at all.
Or, if they do have memories, they feel completely detached from them, as if they're watching a movie about someone else. They might suddenly hate their favorite foods, lose interest in their lifelong hobbies, or feel literally no emotional connection to their own families.
Well, because the entity currently processing those relationships is quite literally new to the job.
Exactly. But LeoBunny doesn't just rely on their behavioral changes. She claims she can actually spot a walk-in, sometimes even just from looking at a photograph.
Yeah, she looks for a very specific visual mismatch.
A mismatch between the frequency emitted by the physical body and the frequency emitting from the back of the person's eyes.
Yes.
What is the actual mechanism behind that? Like, why do the eyes become the giveaway that the internal team has been swapped out?
Well, think about the anatomy. The eyes are the only part of the central nervous system exposed to the outside world. They are a direct physical extension of the brain. So when a new consciousness or a new team takes over the neural pathways, the way that brain processes incoming light and data fundamentally shifts. This alters the micromovements of the ocular muscles, the pupillary response, and the exact way a person focuses their gaze.
Oh, wow. So the biological structure of the eye remains identical, but the cognitive mapping driving it has completely changed.
Precisely. The physical body is emitting the heavy, familiar frequency of its genetics and its accumulated physical life. But the gaze, the way the eyes are engaging with the world, is broadcasting an entirely different, newly installed frequency.
It creates an energetic friction that a sensitive practitioner can visually identify.
Exactly.
It really reminds me of the classic philosophical paradox of the Ship of Theseus.
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect fit.
Right. For anyone unfamiliar, if you have a famous wooden ship, and over the years you replace every single rotting plank until no original pieces of wood remain, is it still the Ship of Theseus? The walk-in phenomenon is basically the inverse of that paradox. The planks, the face, the fingerprints, the DNA are exactly the same. But the sailors manning the ship have been entirely swapped out. Are they the same person?
And from a societal, legal, and biological standpoint, we treat them as the same person. But energetically and metacognitively, LeoBunny argues they are fundamentally not.
You would expect a concept like this to sound terrifying. I mean, it borders on the plot of a sci-fi thriller about body snatchers.
Yeah, it sounds like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Exactly. But the tone she uses to describe the walk-in experience isn't malicious or scary at all.
No, not at all. She frames it as a calm, orderly handover. It is not a hostile takeover where an invading spirit forces the original out. If we view this through a cosmic or even just a purely biological lens, it is the profound adaptation.
Because the physical vessel is failing.
Exactly. The original consciousness could no longer sustain the connection required to keep the heart beating and the lungs breathing.
So rather than let the biological system collapse completely, a new team steps in. The universe doesn't waste a perfectly viable, recovering physical vessel. It just assigns a new crew to manage it.
A cosmic shift change. The previous team clocks out, and the new team takes the wheel.
That is so wild.
It strips away the fear surrounding identity and replaces it with awe at the sheer resilience of life. It forces us to decouple identity from biology. Your DNA dictates the physical shape of your eye, but it does not necessarily dictate the consciousness looking out through it.
The full conversation is on the podcast, available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. A free workbook is waiting too. Link in bio.